The Palestinian people face no greater urgent threat than deprivation of humanitarian assistance, while the court advisory opinion of July 2024 still echoes. The reality of occupied Palestinian territory remains grim. Occupation continues, and the starvation persists.
A Chinese legal representative has painted a grim picture of the current situation in Gaza. The World Court has been tasked to form an advisory opinion on Israel's obligations to facilitate aid to Palestinians. In March, Israel cut off supplies to over 2 million people in the besieged enclave.
By withdrawing from the 1967 interim agreement and enacting legislation to prohibit UNRWA operations, Israel clearly violates its obligations under international law. As set forth above, such action contravene a fundamental principle of international law. No state may invoke its internal law to justify non-compliance with the international obligations.
Other countries say they support the UN-led initiative to ensure that there is long-lasting peace between Israel and Palestine.
Our country is very attached to the effective and concrete protection of the right of the Palestinian people, which is unjustly subject to prolonged and unlawful occupation. Senegal has thus on several occasions made a solemn appeal to the member states of the United Nations, asking them to continue to support the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for the Palestine refugees in the Near East, UNRWA, that we will from now on call the agency, and which, since it was created, has been providing basic services for millions of Palestinian refugees, in particular in the areas of education, health and humanitarian assistance.
The dramatic situation in the Middle East, the violence and suffering, the prolonged occupation without any prospect in sight, declared illegal by the court, the atrocities committed on October 7th and since, the suffering of the hostages and their families, the catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza, the massive violations of international law by the parties to the conflict, all of this is of deep concern to us. Switzerland supports the UN Security Council's vision in which Israel and Palestine live side by side in peace within secure and recognized borders.
Sudan, which is also facing a civil war, has presented its argument. It says the ICJ must act.
We are deeply concerned by respective legislations imposed by the occupying state, Israel, that has effectively terminated the operations of the Relief and Works Agency in the occupied Palestinian territory, leading to the collapse of the severely needed UN humanitarian response. This outcome is deeply troubling and carries grave implications, not only for the humanitarian response, but also for the broader regime of UN privileges and immunities.
South Africa also presented its argument, saying Gaza is once again under siege and the humanitarian aid system is facing total collapse. Israel has submitted its position in writing to the hearings, which it has described as a circus. Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.